Is it working?
Hello and welcome back. You're listening live to Let's Drone Out. Tonight we are joined by Andrew / Frank.
Hello.
Stephen.
Hello.
My buddy Cole.
Howdy.
My darling wife Tony. Oh dear, I love you so much. So is that you vomiting?
Yeah.
Okay. At least say hello to the audience.
Bonjour, sorry.
And I'm Brian by Fly. Thank you for tuning in.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, how is the sound?
Hello.
And hopefully we have a bit more of a bit rate. But yeah, if you can put in the chat what we sound like. Do I need to talk louder? Oh, that's fantastic.
Someone turn that off.
Oh, silence your phones. I did.
I can't hear.
And we've also got a special guest walking around the room, Coco, who may or may not appear on stream this evening, depending on how boisterous she feels.
No.
It all depends.
So we've been doing this for 7 years. I am really proud of you guys. It's been a roller coaster ride.
It's been horrific.
It's been
As many roller coasters off Mars.
yeah. There's a lot of vomit, a lot of not talking about drones. When did Bardwell mention us? Is this a recent thing or not?
Oh, one of his roundups of, he said we are a drone podcast with very heavy, I feel, inverted commas around the drone topic, and we were just talking about how it was intended to be more of a kind of chat down the pub.
Yeah.
And we're in a pub.
Yeah, I mean,
here we are.
Cheers.
we can talk, we talk about drones, but there is more to life than drones. And it
Frank
was,
flies wings, for example.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the question for Victor.
Well, should we talk about your wing, Brian?
Yeah, well, it's the thrust vectored wing that I've shown on stream before. It's got, for control, it's got two pusher motors which both independently tilt, so it can do pitch and roll by just tilting the motors, and then it can do yaw by speeding them up and slowing them down. And so I'm kind of happy that it no longer exists as a single thing, because it means I don't have to tune it.
It made a weird
It
noise.
was weird.
Yeah.
It pulsated.
Yeah.
It was just like, what is...
And it was it was easy to carry home.
Yeah,
because
it was
you're
easy
right.
to pack and put in the bag and grab hold of the chimney and ride back.
No, we don't talk about that for insurance purposes.
That was fun.
Yeah, because I have the spec wing in the car that I'm going to hopefully be racing in some number of weeks. That's getting smaller and smaller.
Oh god.
And then we parked up on the top of the hill next to Hidden Valley, and it just sort of heard the wind and was like, well, I'm not maidening this today. This is staying with the car.
It was probably a 20-mile-an-hour constant.
Yeah.
It was challenging.
Yeah, but I had the stupid wing that needed redoing anyway
I
from
quite
scratch.
liked it.
And
I like the hatch. It was made of pure tape.
yeah.
So when you did crash and it was in half, I was like, do you want some tape? And then it still hurts to laugh, so then I had to crawl on the floor whilst wetting myself.
You guys should talk about you all met last week, didn't you?
FPV Drone Fest.
Yeah.
Fairly successful. Some of us flew a lot back, some flew less, but everyone flew. No one smashed anything into too many pieces. There were a couple of little dings, but yeah.
I mean, a few people definitely got stuck.
Yep.
The most
we didn't get stuck.
I definitely
We know that
flew.
we cruised around with a 10-metre clearance between us and everything.
Was
Yeah.
it
Like
worth
the
the travel
ground
of 9 billion miles?
Yeah, I mean, we got to see everyone, we got to hang out, the weather was great.
Did everyone miss me?
Yeah, of course.
Sorry, who are you?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a shame, me and Frank really tried to bring you or get you to come.
It was a nice atmosphere.
Yeah, it was good.
It was very casual. It wasn't like everyone stand at the flight line and at 3:15 there's going to be a display type of stuff. It was just hanging out, seeing if people can do tricks, and if you can't be bothered to do the tricks, you just queue up and fly as many batteries as you want around this huge, and it has to be said, huge power plant that
Was it a
ran
coal
the lifts.
plant?
Yeah, it ran the lifts for a coal power station, and it looks small in that uncrashed level and in the pictures, but in real life it is incredibly, incredibly tall.
What was the link quality like for analog around that metal?
Fine.
Not bad?
Yeah.
If you had a good quality analog setup, it was okay. I tried a few micros, and channel 2 wasn't great for analog when channel 1 was running DJI. I got kind of blasted to the point where I punched out, waited for it to chill, and then kind of just brought it back in. I was on 200 milliwatt. Everyone else was on 400 on analog, which was better.
Yeah.
And if you were flying on analog, you probably didn't want to be right next to a channel that was currently flying DJI. You wanted to get a bit of distance.
Yeah, I got, on my second flight, it was just horrendous. I got I got the bars across it, and that's more the DJI goggles that I think does that, yeah. And like if a DJI quad would do a flyby, you would get like the rolling, like shuttery interference. But how did you find it? Because that was your first event.
Yeah, I was actually surprised I didn't have any breakup issues or signal issues at all. I did get those like 4 digital lines in the goggles when I was near DJI pilots, but nothing I couldn't fly with still.
Yeah, I think you going to like the full power that they said made it so much better.
Yeah.
But like that second pack, I had worse video than when I was sat at the back of the fence in in the marquee tent. So I had bars with me. When you were flying, I had better signal watching you from nowhere near the flight line than I did with channel 3.
But that's a kind of fairly typical thing of events layout, is that the further back that you can get away from the flying
DJI,
area. Well, it's just even with analog, even like just back in pure analog days, if you can move all the pilots further back, it has a much bigger effect on the channels that you're not tuned into than it has on the channel that you are tuned into.
Alex Grieve talking about like football pitch, don't sit on the, where everyone has it set up where they're sitting on the side, where you actually want it lengthways, so you're shooting the video that way.
Yeah.
And you can get more
But
pilots.
that was, it did make a big impression on me, this whole event, because basically every rule that I have learned over the past 7 years of organising, volunteering and helping out with various FPV events, every rule was broken there of how to organise it, but they pulled it off and it worked like 99%.
And a couple of people got quite stuck, but there were people who were trying to fly through 6-inch wide gaps 200 foot off the ground that got stuck.
And they deserved it.
Yeah.
And like 99% of people were having an absolutely great time, which for an FPV event is actually pretty good. And it really drove home to me that the freestyle community has diverged from the racing community, and it's like back when we all got to know each other and really started LDO, we were going to events where you could there were people to be turning up with 2 quads. There'd be the racer and their freestyle quad, and they'd start off with their racer on the racetrack and then crash it, and then they'd get their freestyle out and run that around the racetrack. Or if it was like a bando, you'd start with your freestyler and your racer would be your backup. And just kind of seeing how different everything is now, it's just they're completely different hobbies. And like being analog as well, and not having a DJI, and it's the first event I've been to where I haven't been able to just tune into everyone.
Just come here.
And that was I was grieving the depth of analog, properly.
Oh yeah, I feel like digital was that was the main thing up there.
DJI was completely dominant. Digital, absolutely. And but for me, FPV was a hobby where like I could pay 50 quid for a pair of cheap box goggles, and I could go to any event and I could tune in and I could watch anything.
Yeah, but back
As a
then,
DJI
when we
spectator,
started
the
7
experience
and
was
8 years ago,
Yeah.
that was the only
So
way we could do it.
They did force, for DJI users, they set everyone to use 25 megabit, which is a single channel, and you can run audience mode on that. So
Yeah.
if you did have DJI goggles, you could bounce around, and you could even see like which channels are active, which is quite nice. I've never really used audience mode because
It's
I've never
7 numbers.
been flying with enough people who had digital that it was worth doing. But at that event, it was really nice to be able to go into audience mode. And like when Andy RC was flying the plane around, I could go in audience mode and watch him fly it, and even like record snippets of him flying it, and it worked surprisingly well, which was nice. Also, something we should mention that we had Failsafe there and a couple of other guys who are now sponsored by Walksnail and were showing some Walksnail kit. And Failsafe went so far as to run a pretty big monitor off of a LiPo and hook that up to the HDMI out of the goggles so that bystanders could walk up and see what he was flying. And I had a go there as well. We also had a little fly afterwards, and I looked at Andy RC's Walksnail setup as well, and I have to say, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's great value right now. It's kind of expensive and it's got a few problems, but it's really interesting and it's really promising.
All I've seen of it is bot grinders videos. He flew like 50 metres away and was like, this is shit. But it could be it because he's a bit of a...
He did fly the HD01 and not forget to screw the antennas on it.
Yeah,
so,
I know he does forget things.
Yeah.
He's a bit...
Well, everything that I saw from the event, the Walksnail looked amazing. Like,
It did have one problem. I noticed they were playing with firmware revisions right up to the event, and they were running. The people who are demoing it were doing it on beta firmware that isn't available to the general public. So that's something to take into account. It's a moving target.
Yeah.
And when I dropped behind this huge brick and concrete coal whatever station, powerhead or whatever they call it.
Colliery.
Well, they called it the something.
Clipstone Collier.
The Clipstone Powerhouse, I think.
The Powerhouse is the events venue that they're building in it now.
Okay. Anyway, I dropped behind this, had a line of sight to the quad, and then dropped behind a bunch of brick and steel, and instead of the image degrading, it briefly froze and made me make a little bit of poop. For about like a tenth or a fifth of a second, the image was completely static in the goggles, didn't move at all, and I was like, oh, here we go, I'm going to have to do the walk of shame and get someone to climb over this fence with a hard hat. But then it just snapped in again, and so instead of degrading the image...
That's better over DJI already.
What? No, DJI like won't
DJI,
suddenly
once
freeze.
it's gone.
No, but it wasn't, it was going from like 4 bars of signal to 3 bars of signal. Instead of degrading, it just stopped.
Just froze.
And then it took like a noticeable amount of time to change in quality down from top quality to second best quality.
Right.
It didn't degrade smoothly. It wasn't completely outage. I was never running out of link budget. I was never at the point where I was losing video. But what was happening, instead of degrading, it was freezing, thinking about it, and then going to like a lower quality. And that's not what you want, really. But the quality, when it was working, was superb. Really nice. Yeah, just to by the by.
I think
a moving
DJI have
target.
got something new coming out, like the 25th of August, is it? The new Cine Woot thing and goggles and whatever.
Yeah, this does all come back to what Frank was saying though, that it's going to be expensive. There's no way around it.
Of course.
It's not going to be getting to the hobby for 50 quid. Although I'm not sure you can get box goggles for 50 quid anymore. I think
Maybe not. Maybe not.
200's more about where it's coming in for the
Well, I
lights.
mean like the Eachine VR D2s or that were like 80 quid maybe, and they were pretty reasonable. But I just mean like that's like the whole barrier to entry. Like I got into FPV for like 200 quid.
Yeah.
I don't think I would be able to anymore.
No.
Not on the level where it was a quad that I could take to any event and have a go. You know, I took it round tracks, I took it round bandos, flew it with other people, and was on par and had the same experience
Because
as
that
everyone
speaks
else.
to the general technological advancement and specialisation that you talked about, where freestyle and racing has diverged a lot.
Absolutely. There's like for me, my dreams of like mini air show and having like the one event that everyone would go to, whether it was a scale FPV or the whoops or the X-Class or the wings or the freestylers or the races, and having everyone in one field and being able to sort of go, oh, this is actually quite cool, I might want to have a go at something like this, and being able to fairly reasonably switch between different lanes of FPV. This is kind of like hitting me in the heart. That is, it's the end of that, because the fundamental technology is no longer power NTSC over 5.8 gigahertz. It's something closed.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people there, like the majority of people flying KISS as well. I think racers have just stopped flying KISS. There's a few people flying EMU flight, not so many beta flight. I was there wearing my t-shirt, standing up for beta flight, but I think, KISS probably had the majority of the quads there.
I did not. In my 10, they were all beta fly.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't see anybody else.
And a few
In the
emo
tent
fly.
with Walksnell, everyone was flying KISS, I thought.
Really?
Maybe they
FedTech.
just didn't. Well, FedTech's KISS, isn't it? It's the same thing.
Yeah, kind of, I guess, but not.
It's
Can you
forked,
say
really.
that? That's
Yeah.
like swearing, isn't it?
What?
Saying
FedTech.
Well, you can run KISS configurator on it, so doesn't that make it?
Unless you're on the alpha firmware, which a lot of the Walksnail guys were on the alpha firmware, yeah. But yeah, same thing.
Sorry, Dorothy's like trying to communicate with a dog.
Coco is currently staring at a huge
She's a
sheep.
statue.
There's a dog off
You
camera.
can't have it.
About, yeah, just over there.
You
Having
can't
a wave
have
at the time. I think she's figured that someone might have some chips.
Yeah.
200 for a stack now, says Tailspin RC.
Say hi.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're back in focus, the quality's come back.
Yeah, I don't think it was focus. I think it was bitrate. I think
Okay.
we were just using all the internet for watching ourselves.
Yeah,
Someone wants to buy us a drink?
yeah.
Get people to.
The PayPal, how do they donate to
There's a link in the description below, somewhere down
Are we
there.
not open for the super chat thing anymore?
No.
Why not?
Because tax.
Yeah, taxis.
I thought we were based in the Cayman Islands, Frank.
Well,
We need
we need to plan that.
Our tax advisor says we are not based in the Cayman Islands, and please could she have a sausage?
But yeah, so
Maybe
if
some
anyone
chips.
wants to buy us a drink, they can.
They can PayPal in the thing below. PayPal.me/letsdroneout/
Feeling quite
GBP.
thirsty.
I'm cheap.
Mad Tech says congrats, happy university, folks. I don't know what that means.
We're graduating, guys. It's fine.
Did it take 7 years of med school? I thought it was only 5.
Predictive text.
Yeah.
Just 7 years of meds.
Seven vets, maybe.
7 years of meds, how does it feel?
Yeah. So Audio Geeks here, thank you. Tailspin's here. Catch-22's here. Richard Warwick.
Warwick in the chat.
Caroline, it was lovely to meet you.
Yeah.
Numbskull, Lurgy, hello buddy. Johnny Banton, that's a name we haven't seen in a while.
That is a 7-year-old man.
Yeah. Failsafe, it was lovely to meet you. We forced poor Failsafe to take a photo of all of us as an LD group.
Thank you, as an excellent photographer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've got a wonderful, wonderful animated GIF of Jack molesting Andy RC.
I knew you were going to say that.
He got a semi from it, so I don't think it counts. Medi79, hello. Zero, the best mod. 661 FPV. Squeaky FPV, that's a
I've
great
seen
name.
Squeaky for a long time.
Yeah.
Apparently Squeaky and
Carl C, hello buddy.
Stuart
What,
haven't Numbskull. I haven't flown for a little while. I saw them talking about it in the on the Faceballs.
Yeah.
And they were like, I haven't flown a drone for a long time, so go out and have a fly, guys. Just go and.
Enjoy that 20-mile-an-hour wind, we did.
I have to say that 7
It
inch.
was him.
That made me appreciate raw power, like getting that thing out. The 5 inches are getting blown around, like 6S 5 inches blown around today, but get a little 7 inch out and double up the number of packs and really thrash it. And I did that around the colliery. I also lent that to Failsafe at the end, and he landed it giggling like a maniac. I reviewed Failsafe's DVR, and I can't believe how fast and how close to the ground he was flying. I said don't do anything crazy with it, and he didn't take it for any steel girders, bless him. He was very safe with it, but he was doing like 80 or 90 mile an hour, about 6 inches from the ground. The guy's got skills.
Yeah.
So kudos for Seth, well done.
Double A's in the chat. Hello.
Hello, Double A.
Thank you. You've always tuned in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do? Are we going to carry on for another 7 years?
I don't know. I think we'll make it to like 9 or 10, and then we'll probably murder each other.
I reckon 10.
I mean, Frank's already had enough. Like, Frank.
Should we get to 10 and then just...
Yeah. And then
just
just
live on air murder?
Just watch Bardwell stream and commentate on that.
Doesn't the show become its own like legal entity at that point? Like it's.
He can choose what parent to live with. I know that.
Has anyone donated for a beer for me?
I don't know. You have to check the email. Do it. Double A's down for some murder.
Where's our beer?
Yeah. So after the.
We've received money.
Hey!
Yay.
Thank you. No, don't let the thing go. Come on, click.
John Lewis.
Thank you. They might not have wanted their actual full name read out. Might have an FPV name. Does it have a message?
It's a fancy high street store where you can buy things and someone also PayPal.
Great GoPro pair.
It's LDO, that's what happens. I'm just thoroughly impressed this is even working.
The only message is have a drink. So I'm assuming that's like.
He can't, he's got to drive.
I'm done now, but someone else can have a drink.
Well, we haven't paid the tab yet.
I'll be
so continue donating.
Yeah, so we can pay the tab.
Make mine a bourbon.
Do you know the PIN number for the card? Because if it's over a certain amount, we're screwed. Pay the tab in bits over a period
I
of time.
normally mute myself and shut the camera off when I need a wee. Can I just walk off?
Yes.
Yeah,
For the benefit of our viewers, please pretend that Tony is paused and is not wandering off for a wee.
go round the back.
Tony will now professionally walk straight across the camera.
Crawl.
7 years, folks.
So after Drone Fest, we went to the cooling towers.
Yes. Epic towers.
Super epic.
Yeah, Frank lost a quad, unfortunately.
Again, it's a quad I'm not happy to. I mean, not unhappy to lose. It's like it flew like shit anyway. It's fine.
Just like, I don't like that one.
Yep, pretty much. Again, that's a good reason to fly something. It's like I don't really like this. I'm just gonna fly it where it's sketchy, and then it won't ever come back to me.
Yeah.
I don't have to think about it ever again.
What happened? Was it because you went behind them?
Yeah, well, this is the reason that I was really frustrated about it, was because it was a stupid reason to lose it, because I was just impatient. And like, I knew there was a problem with the VTX, and I didn't solve the problem or pay any attention to it. I was just like, I just want to fly a pack.
Yeah.
So I flew a pack into the ground somewhere that we don't know where it is. So
So if you're ever flying over there and you want to find a quad,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to look far. Smash bits of quad litter the ground like confetti.
So a little FPV tip is have a look at the is it the flora of the area, and try and have props that don't match
Red was not a good colour.
No.
the little red flowers that littered the green landscape.
They were the perfect size of those props as well. Same colour, same size, same shape as those props. It was just like, oh, look, there's my. Oh no, that's
That
not
way
what it
lies
was.
insanity.
Yeah, it was not a good hunt.
Here comes one of our hosts. A lighter and ready for action.
Back again. How was it?
It was nice.
Are you
Situation report.
do you pull your pants down, or do you just go through the
I'm not
gate?
shy.
Or do you put them all the way to the floor? Like, feels good, man.
I'm saying I'm not a child, but I'm trying to.
Like
I did ask for a
Fold-
booster seat.
Fold your hoodie, and that might give you
It's just sitting next to a
Kind
Yeti.
of humped down.
It's a Yeti.
Tony, have you flown Wellington Towers?
Yes.
Yes, he got on
Right,
Road to
I
Riot
know it.
There you go.
because of it, and then everyone else flew it.
Yeah,
after.
I did.
yeah, I flew it. Oh God, it must have been 4 years. Well, when did we go to Wales? Because we done that on our way home, didn't we?
No.
No.
When
No.
did I do it then?
I don't know. When did you
I
do
don't
it?
know, like, you just drive up there yourself being like, I've got to do this.
Hold on.
Let's play
Dementia! Stick the thing on, run over him. Hang on, I'll do the band, hang on. Lost.
Oh, we don't have anyone working the controls. Where's the puppet master?
Where's the...
I don't think we got them.
Have we got... Is it on the banners?
Oh God. Jack, don't touch the computer.
Let's play Dementia. Jack can't find the Let's Play Dementia banner.
Let's play Distraction.
Don't press anything,
Squirrel!
Jack.
Hang
So
on.
turn the show colours to hot pink
Oh,
instead of
God.
cyan. It's on the backwards.
There you go. Let's play Dementia. When was it?
That was
Have you got any
entirely
photos on your phone that will
Entirely
give me the
worth
date?
No.
We're getting a question coming home from NEC, question mark.
Is that what you did?
Yeah, no.
Oh.
Who was on
It's a
it?
mystery. Never mind. We flew the towers of Wellington.
I think you went with Frank and you were
We did
telling
a lot of
me
dives.
that's when you got your shoes wet, wasn't it?
Yeah,
No,
it was
that-
me, you and Andy, I'm sure.
That was me and
Hello, okay.
Fraser.
I don't know, I have flown
Unless you
it.
joined us for some reason.
I can't remember.
We'd been
I
to
wouldn't
the
have
Field of
driven up
Fame
there just to
Nationals.
fly that. It was probably on the way home from somewhere. I was with Danny boy from under the stairs. So
Is he still? You did leave him food whilst you're out.
Yeah, well, maybe not. I'm going to Popham Saturday.
We paid them
What's the problem?
A
airfield.
showish thing.
It's the Popham Model Air Show this weekend. The FPV offering has shrunk gradually from, there being like 2 different FPV fields to being 1 FPV field with 2 events to being,
Tony's attending. We'll talk to people.
yes, yeah. There will be some FPV demos.
Yeah,
FPV
so I'm
demos.
basically flying in a demo.
X-Class.
X-Class demo.
X-Class wing racing.
Wing racing. I think there might be some whoop racing as well.
There's going to be a netted whoop area, definitely.
Yeah.
But what happens in there is
Why don't people fly 5 inches at any of these events? Why is there this big divide between you can fly wings and X-Class
Can't
and
see
whoops,
them.
but you can't fly 5? That's what all the good pilots fly. That's what everyone owns.
It's
50 pilots
basically
own
for
X-Class.
spectators, I think.
Yeah.
Really.
like for general public who don't have goggles or any way to tune in,
They're not gonna see
or a massive video screen. Like X-Class and wings, you can see them. You can't really see a 5-inch.
I can see a 5-inch. I was just looking at them today.
Well, you have better rides than 90% of the people that go to
Oh yeah,
Model Air Show.
as per the sandals. Yeah.
As per the
Okay.
sandals.
Yeah.
When they're expecting, 3-meter long jets.
Yeah. They'll be moving the varifocals up and down so fast they can themselves crooked in it.
Exactly.
Don't bang the table.
The other half of it is that to get like some 5-inch pilots to stay through a day requires a lot more flying than most model air shows are willing to put up with. Like if you get a 5-inch, some races along at least, they want to spend all
20
day getting
hours.
taxed through.
Got you.
And the shows don't want people flying because it's an air show.
Well, because they want, they've generally got one flight line and they want to show everything on it. So they'll
But the
give you like
quads
10
can't be
minutes
trusted.
in the day, which is,
It's a bit weird considering quads never get above like 15 metres off the deck and all the planes are at like 50 yards in the air.
Yeah.
But you've got to have nets because they're wild animals and they'll follow you home and they just attack. They see.
And this is kind of the problem really, isn't it? Like we've got this weird tribalism, never mind between racers and freestyle, like the RC community in general just has a bunch of tribalism.
Yeah, it's because you're not looking at it. You're in goggles, so then because you're not looking at it, it can't be trusted.
Basically.
Kill it with fire. I think that's what it is.
Well, I think
But you can't burn
the
them
bigger
because it's
problem
not
is all these
balsa.
old wing pilots, they're looking at it but they can't see it because they've been able to see it since 1985.
Well, yeah, I mean, Chernobyl happened then, so the old radiation.
I'm being very mean on elderly wing pilots. I'm sure a lot of them are lovely people. I just don't like the fact that people divide into camps for no good reason. Like, everyone should just, have a bit of a laugh.
Why is there a cat?
It's not a cat, that's a dog. It's just a rather petite dog.
Come here.
Owned by a petite man in the corner.
We've had a few more donations.
Oh, thank you.
Richard Warwick asked how I'm enjoying the English beer. I actually haven't had a beer yet, and that's a problem. That's a bit of a
How
problem.
are you finding England?
It's cool.
Is it a different ethos flying with us? Because you've flown with people in Canada.
Yeah, I've flown with some people in Canada. I don't know. I think I like it better here, to be honest. I don't know.
That's cute.
Pints of
I'd rather
blonde
be
or
in
something.
Canada.
You'd rather be in Texas, you weird cowboy, face wearing.
I do like
Pig.
Texas. I do like
Even the House of Death. Have you ever told that story? Will you?
No.
Oh. That was Florida, wasn't it?
Oh God, I can't remember.
Is that a Rotor Riot house?
Can I tell the story for you?
Hold on, whisper
From-
and tell me what it is.
It's visiting the person's house and there was a lot of
Oh God,
taxidermy.
that was Florida.
That was Florida.
Florida has a reputation for being all shades of crazy.
Yeah. So you got you got dropped off to go fly with people.
No, I did fly and then I went on a river cruise, boat cruise.
And then they took you to their house.
Yeah, because Bruce, my best friend who lived in Florida at the time, was delayed
Busy.
and he was like, I'm going to be an hour to pick you up, and then everyone had left the river except for the guy who took you around on the jet boat thing, on the fan boat. And
What are they called?
airboat.
Okay.
And I was just there on my own, and he was like, "Yo, bud, where are you going to get home?" And I was like, it's been delayed." And he was like, "Do you want to come back to my house?" And I was like, "Oh my God, what else
Come
am I
back.
going to do?"
We do banjo or something.
I was like, get bitten to shit by midges, or go
A
back,
croc will have you.
or a croc,
Gator.
or go back to this guy's house. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, I'll just come with you, and I'll just drop the pin to my mate's house, and to you, and then, to my mate, and he'll pick me up." And then we went back to his house. Oh God, he walked in his house,
Vegan walks in.
and there was literally death everywhere. There was crocodiles' faces and heads, and
No.
deer everywhere. His dad, or is it his dad? His dad comes shuffling out the.
Wasn't this a movie?
No, he comes shuffling
What,
out
so
the
the chair
bedroom
that's
and
made of bones
This
and the
is-
really old
it was
guy.
basically like
Hold
that.
the hammer,
He had
Carl!
no fucking
Hold the
hand. He
hammer,
was like
Carl!
that. He had about 3 fingers, and he shook my hand, and I was like, "Alright, I'm from England." Like, where's his fucking fingers? And then he took me down the garden and showed me the hogs he just caught that night and who he's going to kill tomorrow. And I was just like,
I thought the
"Take me
remake was
home,
better, but
take me
the
home."
original had.
I should have just stayed at the bloody pond and got eaten.
But thank you very much.
How to be a vegan in Florida, thank you. Enlightening.
I need another week.
Thank you very much, Lurgy, for your donation.
Thank you.
Cheers for the beer, mate.
Thank you very much to Richard Warwick in the chat.
Yay!
I wish I had some fireworks. I wonder if they've made any.
And thank you to Caroline Tyler.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you all.
Way!
Yeah.
Donations have provided a beer for Cole.
Oh, no way.
Hey.
Well, this is my first beer in England, so
Is it actually a good one?
Cheers.
No.
cheers.
I would have drunk that, but cheers, guys.
Oh,
Cheers.
okay.
Oh. I think the Titan, I think of landscape. I can name 30 things that rhyme with. Carl's going to smash the place up.
Yeah.
It's alright, isn't it?
I don't like drinking beer, but I actually like that.
The question is that beer actually made here? I bet it's Dutch or something, isn't it?
Which one is it? It's either blonde or the neck oil.
on the glass.
It
Harvey's.
I don't know.
it's Harvey Mills. You have no idea what you ordered.
Harvey's, that's a burger joint.
Yeah, Harvey.
Long blonde, yeah, it's Harvey's, that's the local one.
Yeah, it's not super strong.
It's my dog still.
3.8.
In the building.
Central one.
Yeah, Doris handling the doggy and stopping the burger heist of the century.
Oh yeah.
You're a good kid.
This dog's got some serious exercise.
Oh, she's
Tony-
very strong.
Tony's pointed out quite how kind of built his dog is after a strict regime of mountain biking.
Oh.
She hasn't been for 2 weeks.
She's a pretty fast little measure now. and has shoulders like you wouldn't believe. Like tiny dog, but huge shoulders.
I know. It's all from running. When I got her, she was really skinny. But yeah,
Built her up.
she loves it.
Tell you what, could do with Coco's shoulders on the chimney on the way back up here.
Yes.
I live in fear of anyone getting hold of that GoPro footage.
Why
Why
did
did
you
you not
guys
use
not drive to the spot? Because I have the lamest car ever with tiny wheels and
But it probably has more ground clearance than zero.
Yeah.
Mine struggles.
I could feel
When
the
there's a
grass
speed.
going underneath me going
Okay,
I don't drink beer.
He's trying to get it over and done with, like end the pain.
when there was still a road, I pulled off into the car parking area, and the grass there was making a horrific noise on the bottom of my car.
I have driven my car that I own now down to Hidden Valley. When
It's only a couple of grand, £1,000 worth of car.
when it was less valuable than it is now.
Yeah. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah, and I didn't care about it as much because I think it. Well, I've just spent quite a lot of money on it in the last year, and I was like, I am not taking that down there. And then I just found out how much my wheels are worth, and I was like, I'm definitely not taking it down there.
How much are your wheels worth?
£3.
What?
Oh no, it's ridiculous.
Each?
No,
I was gonna say.
that's without tyres.
No way.
No, it's
That's
JDM stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose. Well, you can't buy it anymore.
No, you
They're not
can't.
making it.
No, exactly.
apparently it's cars. Do the expensive ones feel nicer? Maybe.
No, it looks
No,
nice.
it goes faster.
Yeah.
I kind of wish cars would just drive us
And it's
instead of
very
us
rare.
having to fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got a good number plate with FPV in it.
Instead of having a Mavic that
Is that
flies
passive?
itself, we
Yeah,
should
it's
learn to
private
fly
plane.
drones because flying is fun.
Jack
But
made me
cars
try
should just
that.
drive us through traffic.
Don't talk over each other.
You want iNav for your car?
No, I want something better than I have.
Return to home.
There's something better than I do. Sorry, Pavel. Constantine, he doesn't mean it, I swear.
Well, okay, so Pat, you might put INAV on a Rover. Would you then drive that Rover at 50 miles an hour down the street through other traffic?
Well, we drove 50 miles an hour, these two idiots.
We were just holding to the side of this car.
That was quite fun though. Wasn't
It was quite fun, but it was also mildly terrifying.
So, it was horrendous.
The
I'm
worst
gonna.
thing was getting stung by the stinging elves. I
You
was
were wearing
alright.
jeans.
Yeah, I was alright with the speed. It was getting stung.
Did you actually get stung?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, mate.
It was whenever Jack put his foot down and all of a sudden it just
Yeah.
launched.
Yeah, the old chimney's got some poke. Fair play.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. But it was nice flying together at Hidden Valley again, which we haven't done for bloody years.
No, I know.
Which it's hallowed ground really.
It
It's
really
like-
is.
It's a sacred place.
Yeah. And it's especially for LDO. Like
It was like LDO Games was there, which was how many years ago was that?
that was 2016.
Wow. I will never look at a tomato the same way
Yeah.
until you've watched a quad with a wooden spoon taped to it, doing rolls and flips,
And the tomato
tomato
stays
stays,
there.
and it weren't glued, and you're just
A
like,
central period.
yeah, and then you're like, what the hell? And then it starts absolutely hammering it down, and then someone's
Well,
like,
it's a Tupperware.
yeah, it just gets like a bit Tupperware quad. It's got a little windscreen
windscreen
wiper, yeah, I know, for the
We were all
FPV.
in our like tents.
Yeah, like just-
we all tuning into Tupperware quad.
Yeah, we're
It's
like,
literally a quad in a Tupperware
yeah.
box.
Yeah. We were all like penguins underneath this tarpaulin, and it was just hammering it down. And there's this little quad going.
It was cool, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, that was. And I tell you what, the skill has definitely paid off because we were running late, And fair play, Frank set up, no problem. It took me longer to get these lights connected to a network than Frank setting up.
I mean, we were mainly waiting for like food to be eaten. That was the.
That was the late, yeah. Don't aim for the food.
Yeah.
Did you put the food on the tab?
We're going out for a
Oh,
curry.
that's alright then. Yeah, going for a curry after this. Have any of you guys got any questions?
We have to pretend that the dog is not present or that Tony
I think
can't
we're
see.
going to try to hide her in a bag and hope they don't cook her.
Yeah.
If chat has any nominations for favourite LDO moments over the past 7 years,
God.
Yeah.
that would be good.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what are we going to do over the next 3 years?
Oh,
Uh,
10 more years.
Just survive and then
Yeah.
find out which digital FPV system will reign supreme.
Yeah, that is-
Or
Yeah.
at least provide VTXs
Yeah.
and cameras.
Which of them is going to be like the LaForge when we look back? You know, people
Oh.
just have evaporated from history.
I
Or
just
Connex.
yeah.
What's going to be the Connex, the Betamax, the HD DVD of FPV?
I've enjoyed having our new host Stephen for the last, 2 years now?
I don't know.
How,
I think
our
it's
new
been
quite
host
that long.
Carl.
Cheers, Tony.
yeah.
I do miss,
Carl, you make us look a lot less shit.
yeah.
Thank you.
Ow, this guy.
Like thumbnails.
Thumbnails, yeah.
Yeah, like
Chatting in Canada, it's cool.
man of the match though. Frank did a lot of
Organisation.
like hosting and organising.
Behind
Yeah, and you were posting at Drone Fest and everything, and
I
you
hope you
know,
like the slow-mo footage as well. I
yeah,
was very happy to try out on this camera
Yeah.
the slow-mo thing and
yeah.
had some fun with that.
Yeah, you were great.
Gusto FPV says, congrats on the 7 years. At least 5 or 6 of them were pretty good.
That's more than I was expecting.
Yeah, I like that, cheers.
Email Joshua Bardwell at gmail.com.
Caroline said one of her favorite memories was you fail-safing into a small hill.
It was a fail safe. Tailspin FPV says, have another.
Are we in London?
Oh, 5-0.
Ladies' night.
Tailspin says, have another ladies' night. Can you arrange that? Is there any girls left in FPV?
I
Or
think there's a few.
We should probably
It'd be
address
nice to
that.
get
There's
Mako back
continual
on.
complaints about like the
the sausage fest?
Well, just the general toxicity of the FPV community, but I think we should do a bit
Mako's-
to try and address
I
that.
mean,
Mako's
there's-
always doing a lot.
there's
so
Coco.
we could get her.
There's
definitely
Coco,
back
yeah.
Yeah, there's a few girls we could get on for another chat. I think
Yeah.
definitely.
Double A says, which this touches my heart, some more Frank and Jack build lives maybe.
Hot glue is hot!
Hot glue. Really hot, especially with the dodgy.
I vaguely remember that. I think that was when I was tuning in and there were you two hunched over something you couldn't see because the camera was just the top of your heads.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's like in Jack's room, like not big enough. Tell you what, when I get my flat sorted, we're gonna have so much space to do live builds.
Hey, I used to tune in and watch
Are
it.
you going to get a top-mounted camera like all the pros
There's gonna
do?
be cameras everywhere.
Oh,
There's gonna be like auto switching. I'm gonna get Gab involved. Oh,
You'll have to do all sorts of like preset perspective shots,
Oh, yeah.
like 3-point perspective camera shots. Ooh, there's tick tick tick.
Just you wait. Just you wait.
Snappy.
Read Clive's out.
Clive says, I still remember meeting Jack for the first time at Hobby King Live and him giving out catnip.
You were giving out catnip?
Yeah, well, yeah, cats.
Ah.
Yeah. Andrew/Frank is LDO's MVP.
I agree with that. Most valuable player.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
I thought that's minimum viable product.
There's also that.
Andrew/Frank staring at the camera and it's still the
Jack's proof of
LDO.
concept.
Yeah.
I still remember this
Oh,
There's a cat out there or a fox.
yeah.
I still remember the
Or
first
a cat
episode
fox,
sitting in
be
your
scared.
room with, it was 3 of us, wasn't it? The first ever LDO. Me, you and,
Would it be Adam?
no, it was,
Don?
no, your friend.
No.
Aniseed?
No,
No.
you wore a vest a lot.
Who? When was this? Sorry.
Can you load that dementia clip
First
again?
ever LDO.
Oh, Nico.
Nico.
Oh, Nico,
That's it.
With the tricopter
Yeah.
around Everything Live. Yes, I remember Nico.
And I used to have to
Remember
travel
Hobby
down
King?
to Brighton to do
Mm.
Do Hobby Kings still exist?
No, not here.
Outside the UK, yes. They've got a load of stock still in the UK,
But they can't legally access it.
and rather than like offering it on a website or some other reputable means, they're just contacting a load of model flying clubs and being like, "Can we come along and just like have a big
We got a van, mate! Got a
van full of like motors or lipos or something?"
Join these old motors at perfectly fine, smell a bit of nitro. Yeah, apologies for the accent.
Where are they storing this stuff?
Probably in those containers that you and Curry were going through.
It's probably
Oh,
just
you don't want nuts.
just one van driving ceaselessly around the
The
UK,
Landy.
full of the old Hobby King stock.
Yeah.
Hobby King Landy.
Look what's in my truck.
The Land Rover
Slightly
they told us was knackered anyway, and they had a Hobby King caravan as well.
You know you made it when you've got your own
Yeah,
caravan.
because they were
Covered
doing
with stickers.
like landing on top of it and stuff, and with paint rollers.
Now, when you say caravan, you could be thinking about something that you'd like tow down to Cornwall for a holiday full of beige misery, or you could be thinking like the full rock and roll like
No,
jacuzzi inside.
no.
We're talking about the first one.
Yeah, we're talking about, you know, that Father Ted episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of caravan.
Right.
A caravan in Canada is like a mom van. So is that what we're talking about?
No, it's a portable home.
Portable tent made out of
Ah.
cheap, flimsy plastic.
Yeah.
Oh, weird. Okay.
It's like a
Imagine a
RV.
Winnebago with no engine.
Yeah.
I stayed in one last weekend, it was bloody lovely.
Well, versus being in a tent, I imagine it's lovely, yeah.
Yes,
versus
especially
being in a house, it sucks.
On top of your van with a wind blowing.
I still don't understand why you don't sleep in your van.
A camper.
Yes, you can't.
A camper.
It's too small.
Yeah.
A trailer.
Look at you, how small's your damn van?
It's Postman Pat van.
It's what you do
Problem
with
with
it.
his van is it's got a massive water tank.
Yeah, exactly. Water
Oh,
tank,
right.
gas, and loads of other
Batteries,
stuff.
solar things.
Does
There's
it-
no room.
Does the gas still leak when you fill it up?
It's never leaked.
I thought you said you'd like
I
smell
went
it.
For insurance purposes, never leaks.
when I take the gas LPG off, it smells quite awful.
Hmm.
Lurgy says, I like the episode where Jack got covered in shit.
Which one?
I don't remember this.
That's pretty much every day.
Is that when you shut your pants?
When don't I?
Which one?
You're going to need to be more specific,
Yeah.
Jack, unfortunately.
Yeah.
My apologies
How
to
long have we got? Because
Poor
I
Jack.
need another wee. Can I pause?
10 minutes.
Oh, I
Yeah.
can hold it.
Carl C enjoyed
Just
the my parts box.
Oh, the fuck card.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, fuck
that was-
time.
I can't believe that beat me. I'm so annoyed.
Oh, but it was inspired. It
Yeah.
really was inspired. That was Curry Kitten's valiant effort to produce truly the worst vehicle he could get away with and still be called a vehicle, and he really did. You made a wing and it was beautifully built and you taped it up nicely, and he just kind of just hammered it together,
Yeah.
scrunched it into a heap, put it on the floor, and went, it moves.
It was much more in the spirit of just building what's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest though, mine looked worse for wear than the fuck card after LDO no.
Yeah, that's
Because it had numerous smoke grenades tied to it, was crashed into the ground 4 times than I care to admit.
yeah.
So,
Again, impatient. It's the same thing, same problem.
No,
Skyblades aren't problematic. We were learning this. I went flying a while ago, and a guy couldn't quite figure out that tying a large canister to the bottom of his quad was going to make it fly differently, and sort of bounced it like a skipping stone into a tree. And then the second time round, he was sure he had it right and just gave it full bore. And the thing freaked out and flipped over violently backwards, shot past him and landed in the hedge, while he stood there being covered in blue dust.
Oh man.
But it's a bit like Jack at the weekend, where it just looked like you were just molesting the genie.
It just,
There's a wonderful picture, and Jack's just getting right in there with his hands.
yeah.
Huge blue
Oh,
cloud
he's
fountaining
molesting
around him.
something, let's face it.
Yeah.
Lurky said, to follow up your...
Flying in the tunnels, that was a
Flying in-
bonus.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the bonus.
Jack flying in the sewers of Brighton.
It was the worst thing ever. That is not
What was
much.
the original plan?
That was the plan.
That
It's
literally was the
entirely
plan.
intentional.
So it was first person view, if you know them, and they were the guys who supplied Maplin with the Mavics. This is kind of what got us all in this mess. No, not the Mavics, the Phantoms back then. And this is when mini quads like kind of first started being a thing, and
Blackout.
it was Blackout, it was 3S, ZMR,
Yeah.
or ZMR, they just kind of started, and I had still a quad made of wood, and they wanted to test whether you could actually fly anything down there, and they were going to try and do a race, but it was all built out of bricks and stuff. So like, unless it was like a drag race,
6 foot wide tunnel.
some parts of it were, like you could put your arms out to about here, if that's anything to go by.
4 foot, maybe.
Yeah, and then there's other bits. There's other bits that are like massive, but how you would fly and have a
great environment
circuit.
for multipath.
No, awful for multipath. It's damp. There's just water in the air, so the signal
And shit.
shit. It's sweaty down there, so your electronics just get covered in water, and then and then they crash and then slide down
Shit.
slide down the curved tunnel, and then get in the shit, and as your props spin, then flick shit at
It's
you.
not even your own shit, it's
No.
everyone's shit in the whole of Brighton.
And then if it rains badly, an alarm goes off, and you must get out, or you will drown in shit and piss.
There's one common factor about this experience.
They give you gloves and everything.
Gloves, great.
No!
Yeah.
Standing up to your knees
And a,
That's
and a hard hat in case you hit your head and then
Oh, what?
go out unconscious and then lay in this shit. But yeah,
Quick touch of hand.
I was horrendously ill after, and
I'm not surprised.
I left.
Oh, spilling shit into my mouth. From a prop.
I left.
You've got to lick them or the balance goes up.
And then went to see my friend and was like, just spray me in the face with Dettol.
Yeah.
And he was just
Really?
spraying me and hosed all I burned
Just
my
wash
clothes.
yourself in IPA basically. Just get the isopropyl alcohol and just swab yourself.
Yeah,
Head to toe.
it was horrendous.
Do they build ultrasonic baths big enough for you?
No, I wish. I wish. It's just
Okay. There's a number of pretty obvious failings though, which I'm surprised you didn't spot. The fact that sewers are notoriously, you might say, full of shit, and this wasn't factored in. Did people tell you something about sewers?
Sewers and stuff.
Did they spin you propaganda about sewers?
the trouble is if you look, you can pay to go on a tour. So if you Google,
Who fucking does that?
I know, innit?
Says yeah. Oh,
Some-
family day out. Fucking go down the sewers, eh?
The worst part is when you go in, there's a lot of hypodermic needles outside because it's under the pier and all the junkies are like.
Oh, it's a fucking brilliant day out. And
Yeah.
if you want to go, go to the sewers.
So how long are you writing for then, Cole?
So there's
Sun, sea,
Shit. Needles.
yeah. Like they didn't even give you a mask, like like masks. I guess are
Moving the subject
Yes.
quickly away.
inexorably.
Anything people are looking forward to over the next few years? Because I'm looking forward to trying out the
not
swing
doing
racing.
this anymore.
Like taking the spec wing out, maidening it, and then taking it to a race and probably crashing it halfway around the first lap. But nevertheless, having a go.
Yeah.
The wing that Chris G's going to lend you looks a lot more
That is
promising.
true. I have at least 2 opportunities to
backup.
smash
Are
something.
you going to
into
the
ground.
Wales do?
Yes, this is
I
Wales
haven't
over
booked,
Wales.
but I am going to go. I'm going to go to that. I think there's.
Is there room in your tent for me? I don't think I could handle it.
I mean, I don't know if well.
Snuggle party.
You like how bad I take that?
You'd keep me warm.
Yeah, that's something. Like a tom-tom. Star Wars reference.
Yeah.
I smell like one apparently.
I saw that.
live audio.
I saw that on an FPV t-shirt recently. I think it might have even been at the event. It was FPV stuff on the front, and on the back it just said, "You thought I smelt bad on the outside."
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's the
I don't know why I
reference.
thought of you, Jack.
Yeah, thanks. That was in you. Sounds like Woodstock 99. Is the video still on? For some reason I'd like to watch that. Just refresh it.
No. The full sewer story.
Oh, I think
there
it's
was
a
a Patreon special.
Patreon only if you want to see the footage.
You'd have to scroll back on the
You have to
Patreon.
pay £1.
Yeah.
I think it's a $3.
Oh, we went crazy with the shit.
Yes, $3 dues to do it.
Stephen, what are you looking forward to over the next few years? Have you got anything you're like, oh, that is a thing?
I'm kind of looking forward to, when I started getting into this, DJI was still making flight controllers and stuff, right? And I'm kind of looking forward to the open source side, like stepping up and not getting accused of being too complex and too awkward and just having like a nice easy path for beginners. I'd like to see that happen. I think we've had stuff like OpenVTX and Betaflight, AM32, Blue Jay, all these projects, Express RS, all kind of come together to say like you can nose to tail build an aircraft and have it as an open source system. Digital is still a bit of a problem. We've got OpenHD, Ruby HD, but not the high performance stuff. But yeah, I'm just looking for more of a, like you could go and be a racer now and do it all on open source, and I'd like to see them all start to kind of join arms and be a cohesive entity, which is something that I've heard the developers are interested in as well. So I'm looking forward to that.
And now that you can call yourself a developer, right? Now that you've
I've
kind of
written about a dozen lines of C code.
Yeah, but it's in
the
there
last
now.
decade. Yes, it's in there.
You've had your commits
Yeah,
accepted.
I've written a lot of Python, a lot of Ruby, fair amount of JavaScript, but embarrassingly little amounts of C since about 2002. But I got PR in recently, which is nice. So I added the DJI on-screen display functionality. Thanks to Lemon for doing a nice video talking about that. Yeah, you can set a flag in Betaflight on the nightly releases now, and it shows your warnings. It puts some dots after it, which I'm aware about. It appears that for some reason the DJI goggles think the string is 1 character shorter than Betaflight tells them it ought to be. There is a fix for that I'm trying to get in. So yeah, so I might try and get a bit more involved in the software side myself, although I still think Express RS is probably beyond me because it's very low level. But it's very interesting all the same.
Cole,
Yes.
what are you looking forward to over the next few years?
Learning more technical skills.
But in building stuff, in the tuning stuff, flying stuff, just tricks.
I would say building and tuning, but also tricks, and I'm excited to see sort of any of the new sort of KISS stuff that's going to be coming out. I don't know if there is going to be any new stuff in the next little while, but I'm flying old KISS V1, so you know.
Just wait until Steven's completely rewritten like Betaflight to have a KISS mode.
Yeah.
I think they did that already actually for KISS racing.
Oh really?
You just disable anti-gravity and then it kind of flies like KISS.
Interesting. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just kind of keep going and keep learning and see what new tech comes out.
I'm gonna skip Jack. Tony, what are you looking forward to over the next few years?
Surviving.
Oh man.
Like nothing like some kind of like X-Class ESCs or like a new
Things
frame.
becoming cheaper.
Oh, well, that would be a rare thing, wouldn't
Yeah.
it?
That'd be nice, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'd like X-Class to get a bit more popular. It'd be nicer.
I mean, we've actually had like the beginnings of a series of events happening.
We've
so-
had like 7 pilots now at one event, so that's much better than the couple
Two.
it was.
I've got to see some more competition for
ago,
ESCs, because
so,
right now it's APD or nothing. It'd be
Yeah.
nice to see some competition start to push down the prices of those ESCs.
Definitely, that'd be nice. Yeah, that's about it really.
KISS Ultras being in stock.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder where they're going to do FPV Drone Fest next year. That's interesting. I'm kind of wondering about that. But
Because Go Nuts was saying that they're looking to maybe hold it at a different site, like having done this event and the previous event at the same location.
Yeah,
maybe
well,
finding another
different.
location.
And they hired a team to climb on the roofs, so they got back the quads from this year. They also got back some quads from last year.
No
I
way.
think they should call it quits now, while
Yeah.
they've got everyone's quads.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
is that how they done it? They hired
Yeah,
climbers.
the team. Well, they had a cherry picker and stuff.
Did Failsafe get his back? You know, the one in the
I'm
impossible.
not sure.
Failsafe, did you get yours back?
Let
He's
us know in
here.
the chat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick the patrons up, and while I do that, Jack, what are you looking forward to over the next few years?
KISS Ultra being available or getting even better, because I hope that my friend Alex Fedorov does really well. The battle or like, you know, the sort of digital stuff settles down and we all kind of know what to get and what works, so we can kind of move over and there's no more, you know, what channel you on and, you know, a bit cleaner video for all of us.
Just plugging in and not having to yell.
Yeah.
Powering on.
That is
Yeah.
really
Just
nice.
plug it in. They're on that channel. This knows you're on that channel, so
Yeah.
it puts it on. Knows the power that the other guy's on, and then you can just go.
Yeah.
That would be
And
that'd be incredible.
yeah, I'm glad to see. It was really nice to be in an event that there wasn't any racers, and it was like that sort of like high stress, strung out, stress head kind of, you know, racers giving you bullshit for like
Flying
freestyle.
backwards
Yeah,
round
I
the
know.
track.
Yeah, like just
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I
It
don't
was-
know why they did that to you.
Like-
I just have no idea.
Yeah, like, you know, like freestyle, you know, actually has a pulse now here, so that was nice, and yeah, kind of looking forward to more of that.
Were you representing freestyle by flying backwards around the track?
I was rebelling, you know, and they really didn't like
They
that.
really did.
Oh my god.
Because even,
One way.
when the race organisers went to lunch and so there was like no racing going on, and Jack was like, "Can I do a freestyle bit? Can I now do some freestyle?" And you were allowed like maybe half a pack, and they're like, "That's enough of that.
Yeah.
You're
No.
not going around the track."
What did it was the cameras back in the day, my brightness and contrast was set up for rainy, and by the time I was allowed to then do
It
freestyle,
was sunny and
I couldn't
lovely.
see, yeah, it was sunny and lovely, took off and just you know, HS 1177, I might as well have just,
Put a band on your
yeah,
head.
yeah, just taken my goggles off, really,
Yeah.
trying to freestyle line of sight. That's all we got time for.
We might be back next year, or we might not.
Yeah, if we
Maybe,
actually
We will.
get sick of each other.
We will see you next week.
Yeah. Thank you to all our Patreons. They've been scrolling at the bottom. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for the donations for the drinks.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Hopefully the credit card will work. And,
If not, I'm leaving
I've
it.
got to leave.
yeah, Frank.
He's
I
back
really
to
need
10
a
Ryans.
week.
Yeah. You've been listening to Let's Go Now. You've been joined by my darling wife Tony.
Bonjour.
I've been Brian to a Fly. This has been Cole,
See ya.
the man with the moustache,
Cheers. Bye.
and Andrew / Frank.
Bye.
MVP. Bye guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Minimum
Thank you for all the
viable
support.
podcast.
Take that, Hardwell.